Hello YouTube, it's Alec here with you Underground. To our American viewers, happy Independence Day. To our European viewers, good day. And to celebrate Independence Day, I've decided to put together the most American deck I can think of. Now, this is a deck that is so American, it cannot be played in the OCG. And Burning Abyss isn't very American, so it's UA. And specifically, we call this Aggro UA. The story behind this deck is that when me and some of my buddies of mine were going to Nationals, we were thinking about good, really aggressive decks that could steal games in the format, and this is one of the ones we thought of, and there's definitely some testing to be done, but nonetheless, it is so American that it did deserve to have its debut today. So first, we play 3 UA midfielder. He's the heart and soul of the deck just because he's level 4. Everything else about him is pretty much irrelevant. But that effect of his to allow you to special summon UAs without using their special summon for the turn can come in handy. Then we play 2 of the Perfect Ace. A lot of people who you see play UA play 3. He's got on your opponent's turn you can discard a card to negate anything effect. But the fact is that he's so readily searchable that it's really unnecessary to play 3 copies of this guy. We play 2 copies of UA Mighty Slugger. Now, if you haven't told by the title of this video, this is a very aggro UA deck. So we play 2 of them just to help us resolve game-winning plays more often, because he does get through Valkyris and has that nice Armadillo effect to make sure that your attacks are getting through and doing big damage. 2, Rebounder. He's kind of the wolf bark of the deck, just lets you expand upon your field advantage and recover a little bit. Kind of the only recovery card the deck has. And then for the one-ofs, we play 1 Goalkeeper. He has a Stardust Spark effect for UA monsters. 1 UA Blockbacker. He has a lose 1 turn effect. 1 UA Dreadnought Dunker, who does piercing damage and destroys a card when he does damage. And then finally, the only non-UA monster is a Photon Thrasher, just because so that we have another Rhoda target that actually is productive in helping us set up plays. And next, spell cards. Spell cards kind of make up the most of this deck. 3, UA Stadium. This has a Black Whirlwind effect. If you normal summon one, you get to add one. And then anytime one is special summoned, all monsters on your field get pumped by 500 attack points. So, helps you go do for damage and tutors your whole deck. So it is the heart and soul. This is a field spell-based deck. Next, we're actually playing not 1, not 2, but all 3 copies of UA Power Jersey that are available to us. More defensive versions of this deck will only play 1 or 2 of this. But what we found when discussing UA is that UA does not have a really great late game. So our solution to not having a really great late game was making sure that we never made it into the late game. So we're maxing out on copies of UA Power Jersey so that we can kill our opponent as soon as possible. What it does is you get 1,000 attack, and then you do double battle damage, and then if you attack a monster, you can attack twice, which combined with this and any 500 boost from the field spell can usually do about 6,000 damage. And then 3 UA Signing Deals. It's the Hero Lives of the deck. Just helps you tutor the monsters you need. You can special one from the deck. And then if you need its effect, you can return it to hand to summon another one. And then return that one to hand to summon the one that you used UA Signing Deal for. And then get the effect and then go off from there. 3 copies of Reinforcements for the Army. Helps us tutor midfielder since he's the only normal summon you can get without a tribute. Get your field spell searches going. And if you already have midfielder, you can grab your Photon Thrasher so that you can special it, normal the midfielder, and then make Xyz plays. 3 Terraforming. Now, there are a lot of you could argue there are a lot of dead search cards in this deck, because you do have 3 Roto with only 4 targets. We're playing 3 Terraforming with only 3 targets, but you have to remember that we're trying to end the game as fast as possible, so we need the cards that let us end the game. And Worst comes to worst, you usually do fall back on Perfect Ace, and having these cards isn't a bad thing because you can always just discard them for his effect so that you can go for game in the subsequent turns. 2 Instant Fusions. Now, this is kind of a unique pick for this version of the deck. We're using Instant Fusion in order to get us into Volcasaur's play so that we can end the game faster, and it also allows us to make rank 4 plays. So even though Nodon's not in the game yet, we are still playing 2 copies of Instant Fusion while it's still legal. 2 Monarch Stormforth. You don't really use the extra deck that much. There are some Xseed plays available to you to help clean up a consistency and help do damage, but for the most part, they're not tragically necessary, and this lets you sack off your opponent's monsters to get your level 5 and 6 UAs on board, which helps for consistency and also helps get rid of problem cards. And finally, for the trap cards, we're playing 3 Penalty Box. Really, the effect that's important is you can banish it in grave to search a spell trap, and because the field spell is so easy to get with 3 field spell, 3 terraforming, usually you're going to be going for this card. But also has a nice dimensional prison effect, so that can help support you in games that for some reason are lasting longer, but mostly you just want to pitch it with Perfect Ace or set it and get it destroyed so that you can go into your spell cards, which will help you win the game. And then the rest of the traps are pretty much geared toward letting us win the game. 1 Ring of Destruction. Like I said, your combo usually does about 6,000 damage, so definitely the rest of the trap card lineup is just helping you do the extra 2,000, so on their turn you can hit them with a 2,000, and on your turn do the 6,000 per game. So Ring's very valuable in that regard. And then we're maxing out on Battle Guard Howling. Now, what this card does is if a warrior is targeted for an attack or targeted by a card effect, you can compulse you can target one monster on your opponent's side of the field, do damage to their life points equal to that monster's attack, and then if you do, return it to the hand. So, because the deck we're playing is all warriors, it's pretty much a compulse and a magical cylinder put together, just giving you extra offensive utility and helping you do that extra 2,000 damage. And sensitively good card in this version of the deck. And to round us out, we are playing 1 more defensive trap, and that's just Vanity's Emptiness, since you can sit on Goalkeeper or Perfect Ace and Vanity's Emptiness, and Perfect Ace will let you negate MSTs, and it'll just let you sit on this floodgate and beat down for the win. So for the extra deck, for the fusions, for our instant fusion targets, we're playing 1 Gilda the D-Knight. He's level 5 and he's warrior, which lets us go into Volcasaur's plays and also lets us operate under Rivalry of Warlords, which is in our side deck. 1 Carbonella warrior just for the level 4 option, and then 1 Panzer Dragon because worst comes to worst, you can use instant fusion to bring out this guy, and then when Panzer Dragon dies, it lets you destroy a card on the field, which means you can destroy any obnoxious floodgates or anything getting in your way. And then for the extra deck, you can feel free to substitute any of this. I mean, this is all speculative. 1 Photon Strike Bouncer, in case you have 2 Rebounders for the level 6 plays, lets you do damage. 1 Gauntlet Launcher to help you clear out if you need to when you get the level 6 plays off. MVP, the extra deck, is just Volcasaurus. It gives you that nice Ring of Destruction effect. And then Gaia Charger because OTK in a bottle. Level Chain will let you send the trap card. Unfortunately, this is probably the one you go into the most, which might disappoint some of you since this is a pretty budget deck, and that, I mean, you will have to pay $15 or whatever on this. And then the rest of it, I haven't used any of it, and with a little bit of testing that I've done. A Crazy Box for if you're under skill drain, Exiton, Castell, Gaia Cowboy for damage, Heartland Draco for damage, Ragna Zero for just being a great card, and then finally a Crimson Shadow Ninja, so that if you're under Rivalry of Warlords or if you're in time, you can, and have the advantage in life, you can make this guy install. And finally for the side deck, pretty basic. 2 Trap Stuns, sometimes you just need to force plays through. 3 Max C, so that your opponent doesn't overwhelm you too hard, and if they do try to push, you can just go for game on your next turn. 1 Bull Blader as a searchable out to the Gin Lock against Necros. 3 MST and 3 Fairy Wind for Klee and Floodgates and all that stuff that you don't want. And then MVP of the side deck is definitely 3 Rivalry of Warlords. Against a lot of matchups, what you can do is you can activate Rivalry of Warlords and pin, like if you're playing Necros, you can pin one of their fairies on board. Or you can pin one of the Shaddolls on board. Actually, one of the Shaddolls on board. And then they're just stuck with that attribute of monsters. So instead of being able to go in their boss monsters, they're just stuck. And that lets you hold out until you can draw into Mighty Slugger and your Power Jersey and do the damage you need to do for game. And then that is pretty much the deck. Hope you enjoyed it. Special shout out to Feast of the Wild level 5. This is a card I was considering for a while. Lets you special summon 2 level 5 warriors, but their effects are negated. Gives the deck some recovery, but ultimately we decided that we're sacrificing the late game to just go for game as fast as possible. So hope you enjoyed it. Very American, sport. If you liked it or have any ideas for it, like, comments. Definitely some development to do within the UA deck. The community hasn't really picked up on it too much or practiced with it too much, and I'm happy to hear your ideas. So rate, comment, subscribe, and have a great day.